Good morning everyone, it's Peter, Iridium Consulting. So I was in Kerry a number of weeks ago, and when I was down there I took the time one day to climb Carntool with a friend of mine. And when I say climb, I mean climb with ropes. We didn't walk up it, we climbed it. And we had a great day. It took us a couple of hours to walk in, it took us another couple of hours to climb it, and then it took us finally another couple of hours to get back to the cars. Great day out, sunny day in Kerry, there's nothing better. And it brought to mind another day on that mountain a number of years ago, 10 years ago, that wasn't quite as successful. Maybe for a number of reasons. Maybe we left a little bit late. Maybe everybody thought that somebody else had checked the weather. And maybe, just maybe, there was too many people in the group. But whatever happened, whatever the reasons, we got a little bit delayed. And afternoon began to wear into the evening, become the evening. And after a while it began to drizzle. And then that drizzle turned to rain. And then I began to realise that darkness wasn't that far away. And then I began to realise that there was a very strong possibility that we as a group would get stuck on that mountain overnight. And that wasn't a very pleasant thought. But we kept going, and eventually we got to the top of the mountain, and I have a photograph of us at the top of Carntool at 20 to 11 in the dark and in the rain. But that wasn't the end of the problem we had. We now had to get back down again. And finding the way off Carntool is hard. It's difficult and dangerous at the best of times, but in the dark, in the rain, it's even more difficult. And I remember standing around as a group, a quarter of the way down Carntool, having a discussion about where the path was. We couldn't find the path. And I remember thinking and having this conversation about maybe we had to stay where we were for the evening. And that wasn't a very pleasant thought. But then somebody spoke up from the back of the group. It was a guy I didn't really know that well. And he said, "Look guys, I know where I am. I've been here before. I have a map with me, I have a compass, and I think I know the way back to the cars." So we followed that guy back to the cars, across marshes, we forded rivers, in the dark, in the rain, and I think we got back to the cars, if memory serves me right, about 2 o'clock in the morning. And I remember as we approached the cars, I remember thinking, you know what, that wasn't so bad. We laughed, we joked, as we walk towards the cars. So sometimes those experiences are never as bad as you think they're going to be. And I learned 2 lessons on that mountain that night. The first lesson is that leadership of a group can change. The skills that you need to lead a team of people up a mountain are not necessarily the skills that you need to find your way back down off that mountain. And the second lesson I learned that evening was that we all need to get out of our comfort zone from time to time. And if you do, once you feel comfortable out of your comfort zone, it's never as bad as you thought it was going to be. So I was talking a few minutes ago about leadership, and the simple fact that leadership of a group can change from time to time. And there's something there very applicable to businesses. You as a business owner do not have all the skills that you need to run your business. You may not be a marketing expert. Maybe you don't have skills in business systems. And maybe you know very little about HR. Go and look for those skills. Go and look for guidance in those skills. Go and look for people who can lead your business in those areas. It's a necessity to grow. One of the biggest problems I see with small businesses, with small business owners, is the inability to recognize that they need to bring outside help into their businesses to grow. They think they have all the skills necessary. No, we don't. Look for skills outside your business. Look for leadership in other areas. And I was talking earlier about comfort zones and getting outside comfort zones. It brings to mind a day I spent in Howth not that long ago, about a year ago. I went sea kayaking for a day. I took a lesson. And I'm not an expert, I'm not an intermediate, I'm a beginner. And I took a lesson for a day out in Howth. And as I drove out to Howth, I could see the white tops on the waves. And when I got to Howth, I could hear the wind whistling through the rigging of the boats in the harbour. And I knew this is going to be a challenging day. I knew there's a likelihood I'm going to capsize. And I was nervous, I was apprehensive. But then I met the instructor and he reassured me. He said, look guys, it's too rough outside the harbour. We'll stay inside the harbour for the day. I was happy, I was satisfied. That's me, it's going to be easy. So we spent the morning inside the harbour and we paddled up as far as the mouth of the harbour. We paddled backwards and forwards across the mouth of the harbour a number of times, from a calm area, across the waves coming into the harbour to another calm area. I was happy, I was comfortable. And then the instructor said to me, he said, Peter, I'm going to challenge you. And now I was nervous. He said, look, outside the harbour there's a buoy 200 metres away. I want you to paddle out through the waves, into the oncoming waves, to the buoy, around the buoy and come back in again. Now I'm nervous. Now I know I'm going to capsize. But I can't say no, I'll lose face. So I took on the challenge and I paddled out into the oncoming waves, certain I was going to go under. And I got to the buoy, turned around, even more certain I was going to capsize, and I began to come back in again. But now something happened. Now what was fear began to turn to exhilaration. I realised I was going to get back into the harbour without capsizing. Fear became exhilaration. And we all need to do that from time to time. We all need to get out of our comfort zone. We all need to be pushed to get out of our comfort zone. There's no growth unless you get outside your comfort zone. And you know what? Sometimes when you do get outside your comfort zone, that challenge of being away from what's comfortable to you will turn into not fear. The fear will become exhilaration and excitement and satisfaction. I've talked about a number of different topics in this video. I've talked about leadership and I've talked about bringing outside skills into your business. I've also talked about being challenged and being pushed outside your comfort zone. If you want to have another conversation about any of those topics, give me a call or send me an email. The details are on screen, and when we meet, we'll have a chat, we'll have a coffee. That's me, Peter, Iridium Consulting, and thank you for listening.